The following is rated TV MALSV. It contains strong language, violence, and nudity. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Kommunity Kerbals. I am your host, Devious Dave Rose, also flight director of the Community Space Center, and this is episode 6. Thank you so much for joining us here today on what is a extremely cold winter day up here in the northern wilderness that is known as Canada. As always, we're going to start off today's show by showing our gratitude and appreciation for those that have chosen to spend their time with us here today. So let's start off by shouting out the YR program. We've got Inspector Todd, and we have a few more that are watching right now. So, like the typical flight director that I am, smoking my pipe here and preparing for our launch. So, let me just transition to our game here. And as always, I do have to open up my phone here so that I can see the comments. And if YR wants to call in as assistant flight director, we can always utilize his assistance. Or anyone else for that matter. So I just have to figure out where the fuck it is. Almost there. There we go. Alrighty. Oh, hey, Foulmouth Ken, how you doing? Are you working today? If you're not, feel free to call in. Let me just position this. So, just an update here. I did encounter a brief thermal issue with the computer just before we started, and yeah, so I haven't gotten around to doing the work that I've planned on doing. It's just been very busy, and you know, it's too cold for me to be going out and doing things, so I'm just going to stay warm inside, and it's like actually negative 24, 25 last night. Probably, I guess that's -7 Fahrenheit. But yeah, it was cold. Hey, what's up, Bam? So, where we last left off. Well, we did try. I know. A lot of people aren't too pleased, and I am sorry. And I got to get off my ass and stop procrastinating. It does seem to be obviously that it's the Kerbal Space Program application that's causing this this issue. It puts too much strain on the CPU, which, I mean, the CPU I have is a good CPU. Let's just go through here a few things. It's 8 cores, 3.2 gigs, has 8 megs of cache. CPU's not a problem. The memory, I've got 8 gigs, but you know, this game's harder on the CPU than it is on the video card, or at least it seems to be now. It used to actually, on the previous versions, unload a lot of the strain onto the video card, which, you know, with video cards being as strong as they are these days, leads to a little bit more of a stable system. But the memory should alleviate some of that, but this is predominantly, in my opinion, a CPU-based thing due to the strain. Now I've already inspected Todd. I've already encountered. Let's see here. We had the first one shut down, and then the second. So at least two thermal shutdowns at the moment from that. Now, I mean, I could try for a third time, see if maybe maybe it'll hold together. But that's, I can't guarantee that. And it usually takes a few minutes just because the computer wants to stay off for a bit, so you gotta let it cool off. And once I switch out the new the CPU fan for the one that I got, that should resolve this problem. But to do so, I've got to take everything out of the case. Then I've got to, if I'm going to do that, I might as well be doing like a full cleanup and stuff. And actually, I wouldn't mind if somebody could pitch in on a Devious Computer Fund. That would actually help me play more modern games. Now, I can play Apex Legends, but some of the newer games I can't seem to play. But that's just because of the video card mostly. But yeah, okay, well, let's try once more and see if the system holds together. And and if it doesn't, what we're going to do is we'll hold off on any further Kerbal play until until I've done those hardware upgrades. The power supply also should. That's the thing. The power supply. I'm going to swap it out. I've got a 650 in there right now. I believe I've got an 850. A nice modular one. Those are great. And I'm going to put that in there. And that should, any, drastic drain to CPU voltage should be compensated by that power supply. And it should essentially ensure that it doesn't shut down. Thing is, though, it's a multi-hour process, obviously, and I'm not going to rush it. I'm going to take my time, going to take everything out, going to wipe everything down, do a proper, what's referred to as a proper cleanup and such. And at that point, everything will be nice and tidied up, where I can just insert the new memory, add the new cooler with the new thermal paste, and we should be golden. So. Yeah, and obviously I'm going to be optimizing Windows. I want to reinstall Windows 10, and then at that point basically utilize a certain type of strategy that you optimize all services in Windows. You remove things you don't need. You disable other services that are built in. You forcibly remove certain software that was built into Windows. So I've been lazy and I've been busy, obviously. Like, you guys don't understand what I have to deal with every day with my dad. But, the thing is, though, this is what I used to do. This would be like, basically, consider this like a rebuild on a car. Like, you've got this classic, but, you got to take it apart and spruce it up and, make it like good as new. That's what I used to do a lot of the time with computers and stuff, whether my own or clients. Basically, just disassemble them entirely and just do a full rebuild and include, obviously massive tweaks on the software so that, it was optimized for whatever I was doing, whether it was video editing, rendering, 3D rendering, or even gaming. Windows was configured in a certain way that all the bloatware was gone, and it was extremely efficient. Plus the use of multiple hard drives for what are called scratch disks for temporary files, a lot of different things. So when it comes to computers, I would be the car equivalent of the gearhead, or the computer equivalent of the car gearhead. But shout out to Feslov there in the chat. It says, how much memory is being used with the tribunal evidence? That's what is slowing. No. That's on separate storage drives, multiple drives. So that would not be affecting anything whatsoever. And there's multiple gigabytes worth. I haven't done a current check as to exactly how much data it is, but I believe what I've got is about 2 gigs, and there are other contributions in there that raise the size substantially. So multiple gigabytes worth. Let's just see here. Back to the chat. So yeah, we got 10 people watching, 5 thumbs down. Apparently people are mad that I couldn't go live. Or they're just trolly bitches. That's fine. But this really is a great game. And when it runs, I mean, here's another thing that I noticed. I can play this alone, no problem. But when OBS is active, it really puts a strain on the system. So combine that with the strain that's already going on with the game, and you're really walking on a tight rope. So sometimes I might need to lower the settings in the game. I might have to optimize, for example, the stream to not or OBS, I should say, to not fully utilize the CPU. There's a lot of different things that I could do to tweak this, and it takes time to tweak this sort of shit. But regardless, I guess third time's a charm, right? Oh, what's up, Ingy? We got Famous Ken in the chat, and like I said, this version that I'm playing is 1.9, but both 1.8 and 1.9 are available free from their website, so you can download them and you can experiment with it yourself, and you can even do what's it called, the campaign mode, and the which is called career mode, I believe, and the science mode. So you got 3 different versions, and then the third one obviously is the one I play, which is the sandbox mode, which just gives you, it unlocks everything, lets you do whatever you want. So what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to try to see if I can close a few programs here in Windows and see if maybe this will help us. All right, well, if the stream stops streaming, you'll know that the computer crashed. And yeah, and then that'll be end of this stream, because I'm not going to keep pushing it if it's not going to play, But I'm not sure if anyone else has anything planned for today in regards to streams. I know Nikki was online last night playing Escape from Tarkov. I heard some of that stream. Yeah, it had some good conversations. It said it'd be cool if I'd been there. But yeah, so I don't know if anyone's planning anything tonight. No hard feelings. No, that was the other day. Yeah, so I guess there's nothing going on tonight. All right, well, let's see if third time's a charm. No, there's a big fight card this weekend. Nice. I think he's letting us know. So game's loading. So far, so good. Yeah, while we're waiting to load, Ken, and Ingy, who's on the card? interesting. We're not seeing the amount of strain on the CPU as before. I'm going to try to limit some of these effects here. Oh, I'm not going to restart it then. Fuck that. Nunes. 3 title fights. Nice. All right, well, when we last left off, fingers crossed, people. Hooray, we made it. Alrighty. When we last left off on Kommunity Kerbals, all the astronauts and all the hard workers at Kommunity Space Center were celebrating the landing of the first probe on the moon. Successfully guided from the Kommunity Space Center by the director himself, Devious Kerman himself, they were able to successfully land this marvel in technology, opening the way to a manned landing on the moon. Having found an appropriate landing site to at least begin basing missions from the moon, we now have the opportunity to test out this technology on those that might be considered expendable. So back to this tracking station we go. Hello to Danimal in the chat. And we are now going to take volunteers. Which volunteer would like to be launched into space? We're going to want to test out the ability of... oh, Bullfrog's still outside. What's he doing? He's just hanging out. I'll just recover him so he's back and ready to go. So we're going to go back to the vehicle assembly building. Oh, before we do that, let's see here. We're going to take a look at who is currently within our astronaut roster. So we've got J.R. Ford III, Backfat. That was, oh yeah, that was Tyler Black. He's, yeah, we'll use him. Backfat. In fact, Backfat should have died. I don't know why he didn't die, but yeah, we'll take him. We're going to experiment on Backfat. So, we want to see, we want to test out landing capabilities. Send the baby boys into space. Now that is a good idea. We're gonna hold off on that. We're gonna test some things out. Oh God, no, we're not gonna play that stuff. In fact, how do you? I mean, hasn't that stuff been banned from radio? All right, so let's see here. We want to test out some landing capabilities. We're gonna use a simple lander can, but what I am gonna do is first go back to the moon probe. Actually, we're going to what's the one I wanted? This one. Oh no, we saved the Deadpool. Okay, so here's what we'll do. Take a simple lander can. So we called spam can. 1. And save that. And we'll go to the sub-assemblies. There's the Deadpool. But we'll hold off on that for now because we need the rest of the craft. So this is going to be an experimental lander. We're going to test out the abilities to maneuver. So we need a fuel tank. We're going to need thrusters and RCS. Legs. So these guys will have to go up here. And what do we got here? 16. We're going to want thrusters. And a little ladder here. Oops. Sure if that will be sufficient to get it off the ground, but this is at least a start. So here's what we're going to do. No, we're not going to risk YR, but we will risk back fat. Again, you were in there this fucking morning, you stupid shit, you stupid shit, you stupid shit, you stupid. Unfucking real. Unfucking real. Oh well. Well, that's what it is. I'm gonna have to get around to affecting or working on this shit. And yeah, great stuff, eh? Or working on this shit. But yeah, well, I do appreciate those that did show up. I was really looking forward to you know, doing some human experiments on on the flight crew and seeing what I could accomplish. But yeah, when I get this all, you know, fixed out or fixed up and figured out, we'll see whether or not the game will run properly while I stream. I mean, it's done that before, but I'm going to need to address this soon. So, yeah, once I do that, then we'll see how it runs, and hopefully that should resolve the problem. But, yeah, a little annoying. But, yeah, we'll get around to fixing that, and we'll be back on the Community Space Center, where we're finally going to get, hopefully, the No Hard Feelings crew to land on the moon as a unified group. And, yeah, just have fun that way, and put a bunch of people onto a rocket and watch it explode, We still got to make the community rocket. I don't remember if I ever got around to showing what it looked like. I think that was, it ended up crashing and it ruined the file. But the community rocket was actually going to be piloted by Mars. And the way I made it, it actually had a stripper pole, it had a DJ booth, it had lights. It was the party rocket. So the idea was to eventually, load it up with the good people from the community, get that into space, and then just have this big space party where people are just hanging around the space bus and partying. So, and then there's that great idea many people have already suggested, which is to put all the undesirables onto a rocket and then send it off to either crash into a planet or to go right into the sun, which both ideas I love a lot. So that is definitely on the menu. Back to the chat, we've got Danimal, who says, I like how they're called baby boys, but one of them has a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. Yeah. He also says, don't you have a modded Xbox, Dave? Not sure if you could somehow stream that, but that could be fun. Yeah, see, that's the thing, though. It is possible. I do have a TV card that I could install into this computer. And see, that's the thing, though. I've got to check to see whether or not OBS will recognize it. Windows should have no problem recognizing it. It is an older video card, but, I just don't know whether or not OBS will actually allow me to stream using that card. But in theory, I should technically be able to hook that Xbox directly into my computer via that card and stream the original Xbox shit, and at 720p, which isn't bad at all. That could be fun, actually. Thing is, though, I don't like playing on my computer screen. I like it playing on my big screen, and it's not even that big of a screen. It's, I guess, 36 or 40. I don't know. Compared to today, it's not big at all. And it's actually, it's thicker than the normal TVs these days. But the reason why I kept it around is because it plays the component Xbox video cable perfectly. Like, this stuff looks like it makes the Xbox look perfect. And it's a nice large size. I don't, and especially for a console, right? I like to have that big real estate when it comes to the screen, but, with a computer screen, that's, I don't know. I'm a little thrown off by the Kerbal thing. Just because I really was looking forward to just having some more fun, because it's just something different, I like the tomfoolery, if you want to call it that, and just the unexpectedness where things can blow up, and you've got a planet whose gravity isn't the same as Earth, cool visuals, and just fuck ups you don't expect. So yeah, that's definitely why I like this game a lot, and just being able to experiment on the different types of crafts you make, because that's something that, just like with SimCity, for example, if you ever played SimCity or Civilization, there's certain things that you just spend so much time on, and it's not like you're wasting time. You're refining something. You're trying to think of all the possibilities that might come with that. So yeah, I have so much fun building the rockets, and figuring out how to make them as efficient as possible. Festlove says maybe a quick trash bin dump and defragment could help. No. I use SSDs, so defragmentation doesn't do shit to them. And I keep my computer quite clean. Trust me, I know these are processes that are slowing the computer down by taxing the CPU, and the CPU, isn't new, and it is always advisable that every few years you do reapply thermal paste, which I haven't done. I've been meaning to do, because thermal paste eventually does start to dry out. So yeah, this when I do get that new fan installed, that should fix the problem up just fine. And I can always add, thermal paste if I need to, because I've got my special brands for that. Arctic Silver is a good one. And yeah, the extra memory and the should help, as well as that power supply. But again, this is going to be, me taking my time would be like maybe 3-4 hours, because I'm not going to rush it, for one. I could do it within an hour if I really wanted to, but I'm not going to rush it, because I want to take the computer apart, and then, the case, for example, I want to wipe that down properly. Dust it, vacuum, then start to use wet wipes on them, and just go through a proper process of cleaning it, making sure there's no dirt left. All the fans are nice and functional, and then obviously clean the motherboard off. Brake fluid is actually very good for cleaning motherboards. But if you've never done it, look into it first before you do anything. And then basically put everything back in, rewire it so that airflow is optimal. Obviously the new fan will be in there. The memory will be maxed out. And with the new power supply, that should compensate for any drops in voltage. And we should be golden. But the thing is, though, I've got a fairly long week, or a busy week, I should say. The week doesn't change in length, Dave. Duh. And yeah, I'm hoping to get around to this week. I just need that, 3-4 hours time that I know I'll have access and I won't need to be on the computer, so that I can just take my time and get it done right. Back to the chat here. Hello to Steve Kalan, and shout out to Chad, who says, "Is there a thermal paste that you recommend? I've only had to use it 3 times with this, and the store I went to did not have much for selection." Arctic Silver is the one that I've always had good experience with. There are other ones out there, but they've been around for a long time, and yeah, they're well known. They're endorsed, and yeah, I've never really had a problem with them. Let me think. Yeah, it'd be nice if I could get a new computer, but a good computer, a proper good computer, isn't going to be cheap either. Like my case, for example, I think I bought it several years ago for $85 or something like that. And you can get them cheaper and all that, but this one, I've used on multiple systems. So, if I had another motherboard or another device that I wanted to add, I'd switch it out, and I keep using the case and such. So I'm just trying to save money there. Plus, it's a nice case. It's one of these toolless cases, which basically you don't necessarily need screws to install hard drives or anything like that. Everything is just click and insert. Very convenient. Good airflow and stuff. There's a filter for the air as well. So that's a good way of saving money. But what I would need is I would need a new CPU, a new motherboard, and new RAM. And a new video card. And if I'm going to be streaming from a video game, like a console, and I only have that Xbox anyways, I don't have anything after the original Xbox, I would probably need a current modern day TV capture card, or capture card as they're called now. and probably a webcam, because this one that I've got isn't technically compatible with Windows, but I've made it with Windows 10, but I've made it work and then it just stops working. So, I mean, to be seen on camera without having to deal with this stupid webcam constantly not working, yeah, I'd probably need one of those too. And that's a hefty amount of money. That's not cheap, you know? And I'm not expecting I'm going like high end tier. It's just that, you know, you don't go low grade. You know, you go at least mid grade. That'd probably be Ryzen 5 or something and above. Maybe Ryzen 7 would be better. Ryzen 9 obviously are the top of the line, and those are quite pricey. And I prefer AMD. They are price performance. They are better. They're not as expensive as Intel, and in fact, they are superior to Intel in my opinion, and to what are they called? Nvidia. Yeah. And yeah, I know that some of those new GTXs that people have been trying to find are really good, supposedly, but I've heard some conflicts on that. I'm perfectly fine with fucking Radeons. To me, I prefer AMD. Plus, AMD bought out ATI, which created the Radeon, and you know, they kept a lot of business here in Canada, so I got to show respect and support that way. Let's see here. Chad says, I'll have to order a package of it. Every time I tear down a PS4, I have to use it. The stuff I have is difficult to use and doesn't seem to last for more than a year. Well, yeah, the PlayStation's really put a lot of pressure on their CPUs. And they've had thermal issues from the get-go. So, yeah, I can understand that you considering that, you know, a console you're playing constantly and it's really putting a lot of pressure on things, yeah, you're probably going to have to do it on a fairly consistent basis. I mean, yeah, it probably won't last that long. But I don't know. I mean, I haven't spec'd out a computer of the or priced out a computer with the specs that I, you know, would consider necessary to stream properly and all that stuff. So I really don't know the amount that it would cost, but I mean, good video card's probably $250, I guess. Maybe that's mid-range. Motherboard probably another $200 maybe. And a CPU, I haven't looked at those in a bit, but obviously a few hundred more for that. I'm thinking at least $600. Oh no, there's still the RAM. Ugh. Look, it's not going to be inexpensive. So I'm not too sure. You know what's possible. But hey, if people start donating to me, yeah, everything's possible. I'm looking at here right now an Asus AMD Ryzen motherboard for $209 in Canada here. A kit of 16 gigs to 8 gigs, $134. And those have the stupid RGB shit on them, so they'd probably be cheaper without that crap. I'm not a big fan of the, you know, all this light and shit in the computer. I mean, I did that back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I made my own computer case. I cut a hole in there. I put a window with a plexiglass window. Put these strobe lights and black lights and shit in there. I had like UV activated cables and shit. Yeah, I mean, I did that back in, you know, before it was big. But nowadays, it's just like these computers look like a carnival, you know? It's just all this light and, you know, not necessarily my thing these days. I like a nice, discreet computer. But, oh yeah, and then there's apparently, with the new computers, obviously, you've got these new SSD M2 drives, which hold the operating system, so that would be a couple hundred more. Yeah, to build a proper mid to high end computer would be a minimum of probably $1,000, I'm guessing. So, unless I win the lottery, I don't think that's going to be happening. Would be nice to win the lottery, though. Very nice. So we got Genius in the chat. He says, what games are you looking forward to playing, Dave? Any ones that are free. Tarkov looks like a good game, but I'm not paying $45 for it. On top of that, that's just the entry level game, apparently. There's another one which is $75 or something. It comes with extra shit. And then there's one that's like $99. Like, these are one-time things. Apparently, they don't do this downloadable content or whatever that other shit is called, where they the microtransactions, that shit. See, I'm out of the loop here because I haven't played console games in so long. But yeah, I mean that's the first-player shooters, especially modern warfare type, or I don't mean like the game Modern Warfare. I mean like warfare of today and into the past, like say up to World War II. Those types of first-player shooters I'm good at. I enjoy very much, and was always very successful with my clan back in the day when we'd play that. When we play those types of games. So it could have been Counter-Strike, it could have been Battlefield, all the different Battlefields. We did Call of Duty too, but Battlefield was really our thing. And there were so many of these modded Battlefield games that, like they just gave a really cool sort of alternate to a really good game. So there's something called Desert Combat, and that was basically it was after 9/11, so there was everyone was drumming to fucking go to war with Iraq. So this game came out, and it was basically sort of like a conflict between American forces and or coalition forces and Iraqi forces. So it was built on the 1942 Battlefield engine, and it just made it modern with jets and modern weapons and so forth, and it was fucking incredible. Yeah, there's so many stories I could tell from our times doing that, and yeah, it was just great. I love those first-player shooters, especially when you work as a team, because then you can have people handle different responsibilities. You can have a spotter, you can have a medic, anti-air, and when everyone knows their role and just has a good synergy, just things come together so fucking well. And yeah, we definitely built a good reputation when we were playing, and yeah, we got a lot of kills. We had some great stats. But yeah, games are a little pricey these days. I'm actually thinking of installing Fortnite, because I know that's free. Looks fun. Looks different. I know it's third-person shooter, and I like the silliness of it. I mean, at this time with all the bullshit that's happening on in the world, if I can play something that's a little bit funny, I'm up for that. Which is why Kerbals to me is fun too. And even things like Star Trek Online, which I installed maybe about a week ago or something. Played a couple of times. Need to go back and just keep playing the tutorial so that I can, or finish playing the tutorial so that I can just acclimatize myself with the controls and stuff, because I used to be so good at that game, and I just forgot how to fucking play it properly. So yeah, once I get back into that, I'll be able to play that a little more consistently, and I'll probably even show it here on this channel. I know that Ryan Murray was mentioning that he played, and yeah, I'd be definitely down for for anyone who likes Star Trek and stuff. If anyone wants to play that online, I'm more than willing to do so. And yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have to relegate myself to accept the Chinese evil that is fucking Discord. But, I'm gonna bitch every single fucking moment about it, okay? So expect that. But it seems that this is the only way that people want to communicate. I mean, you got Ventrilo. Ventrilo's still out there. TeamSpeak's still out there. And those are good systems, in my opinion. But, you got a lot of people out there that want fucking, oh, get on Discord, Dave. Get on Discord. Discord's so cool, Who cares if Chinese are stealing our information? But, Discord. And Discord's fucking garbage. Skype is better. But people don't want to accept that. They just want to say, oh, Discord, you can add people and this and pictures and whatever. But, if anyone can suggest any other free games out there, either on Steam or any other system, I'm more than willing to at least have a listen. Maybe have a go at them. Still got to play a little more Apex Legends with Nikki and maybe some other people. See if I can get good at that game, because what I don't like is just that it's... Hold on, I'm losing my train of thought here. I just saw Genius say, I don't even know how Discord was Chinese. I thought Zoom was. They both are. Yeah, damn. Yeah, this computer stuff is on my mind right now, but mostly just because of the amount of time that I've got to dedicate it to. Other than that, not really a big deal. I mean, I used to do this professionally, so it's just tedious work. It takes time. But yeah, I'm hoping that I can get some other games going. And yeah, if anyone wants to suggest one, I'm willing to try them. I like, and essentially since, a lot of people in this community want to hang out, play games and stuff, it'd just be good to find a game that we can all play on, that we can cooperate on, have fun with, shit talk and stuff. So, yeah, I'm always open to suggestions. Tina says, wait for a Steam sale, then you can get a bunch of games for really cheap. And how often are these sales? Because, you never know. As soon as I can get Kerbals rocking again, we're gonna go balls out, and we're gonna go nutty, make a huge fucking rocket, and make huge explosions. It's gonna be good. And speaking of video games, actually, I've been meaning to do this for a while. Casey, Raw, and I have been talking for months now about this. We just haven't been able to coordinate about it, but he and I have been wanting to do... Well, I've been wanting to do a video game stream with him, or a series, I should say. And, yeah, I just want to talk about, like, old school video games, arcades, consoles, and we just haven't been able to get around to it, but hopefully we'll be able to at some point. And, yeah, just to discuss, all those different things. And I'm open to having other people call. I would love, if I could, have Filthy Mouth Gamer on there, because he definitely knows his stuff. And yeah, just go through sort of a review of video game or video arcade games from 1980 to 1999. So 20 years of arcade cabinets and all the different companies and favorite games and so forth, just to do a review, and then potentially doing a review on each each console from, again, 1980 to 1999, for example. So yeah, just something different. And Casey's got a lot of knowledge. He's got a huge collection, and he knows a lot about just obscure video game facts and such. So yeah, he's got some really good stories. He's got really good knowledge as well. And yeah, I just thought it'd be a cool thing to do. Now, I do notice that Drew the other day actually had some sort of stream where it was something about video game podcast review. And I don't really know who was on there, but I would assume that, Casey, because he's always on his Derailed show, and because he is the guy in the community that, is known for video games apart from Filthy, probably more so than Filthy. Yeah, I would definitely assume that he's on there and such. So, Genius says there are sales all the time, but the bigger sales are like midsummer and around the holidays. Okay. So there's some time to go, I guess. I know Kerbals is sold on Steam, but I think it's like $40 right now. So yeah, that eventually, I guess, will also come down in price. Plus, they've got a new game coming out called Kerbal Space Program 2, which is actually even more advanced, and it's like actually based more so on trying to colonize the galaxy. So it's on an even larger scale. So I'd suggest looking into to the trailers for it because it looks crazy good. But I like what we're doing here because it just allows me to go at any pace that I choose and have people along for the ride, and we can do any sort of suggestions that are given and just have fun and laugh. So Z the Reaper says, Zap from Baby Boys. LOL. Yes. No, hold on. So there was Zap. There was Zest. There was Aroma, which by the looks of him, his name should have been Odor. But, and then there's your girl's favorite color. So, yeah. Naming conventions are a little strange there. But then again, coming from a band that called themselves Baby Boys, I mean, what is that, a boy band or a grooming gang? And since this has turned into somewhat of a hangout, if anyone wants to call in, feel free to do so. Kind of dejected here from the computer situation. And yeah, I know I'll eventually get around to fixing it and stuff, but it's just that it would have been nice if I just was able to go live today and it would have held together. Sam Khan says, Civilization, everyone picking nation and playing against each other could be fun. A lot of people in this community are impatient, so I don't think that would work. The first-player shooters seem to be the best ones. Or, third-person shooter like Fortnite. I mean, I don't think many people play, what was it, Diablo with Joe, even though that's his big thing. So, I just think that when it comes to the games, most people just would prefer to play together as a first-person shooter. Genius says, I think Rust would be perfect for this community. I'm not familiar with that game. Let me check on the weather here. Last I checked, it was feeling like negative 20. The sun's been shining for a bit now. Oh, negative 11, which is 12 degrees Fahrenheit. Feels like 12 degrees. But we're going to get some snow tonight. And some more cold weather. Great stuff. And I don't know what's on the menu for tonight. Had ribs yesterday. What might I have? I don't know. I would like some meat, though. Meat is always appreciated. I had steak on Monday, so I'm going to hold off on that. Maybe I'll have steak on Friday. I could have steak every day if I had the option and if it was that affordable, but it's not. The prices of food are just going so sky high here. It's just nuts. What I will be doing is I'm going to be baking, I didn't get around to it yesterday, I'll be making some cakes tonight for some neighbors. I'm also going to be trying out Nikki's recipe for no-knead bread. So we'll see how that turns out, and I'll be sure to post that information. Plus, I might actually, at the same time, I'm going to make 2 batches of bread dough, and tomorrow I'm going to bake one, and I'm going to make the other one in the slow cooker, and then we'll see how those come out. Because I've never made it in the slow cooker, although a lot of people have told me that it's good, it's easy, and it's worthwhile. So I'm willing to give that a shot and share that information on Too Many Chefs and see what people think. Because these recipes are simple. They don't have many ingredients, and they're fairly quick. I mean, with the dough for the bread, you have to leave it 8 to 24 hours, but that's not really a big deal. You can do it, let it rest overnight, sort of thing, or rise, I should say, it rises. And the next day, bake it, and it's done. So, what is up with you guys? Got 16 viewers in the chat, 14 now, because they came to see Kerbals. And sorry guys, I can't do anything about that, and obviously being somewhat a lazy afternoon and trying to stay inside and stay warm. Don't really have any plans. I mean, the plan was to play Kerbals, and that's not going, so. It's only Tuesday, unfortunately. So, that really is it, I guess. Unless someone wants to call in or, I don't know, have me talk about something, I guess I'm going to end the stream. I don't just want to sit around here boring you guys, just talking about nothing. I mean, there's a lot of shows like that already, so I don't want to do that. So, just gonna have this final smoke here, and then we'll see who's around and what's happening. Maybe YR will go stream today. Maybe somebody else. Maybe there'll be a random Q&A that starts up. Ken said that he had to go get some rapid COVID test, I guess for his job or something, so he couldn't call in. And I guess most other people are at work. This Friday actually is the next episode of WandaVision, which I'm looking forward to. I'm really liking how that's coming together, and it was a very slow start for that show. First 3 episodes really dragged on, but I love the fact that they've really thought of so many different things, and you can see that because of the amount of thought that they put into it, everything seems to be well planned. So I'm looking forward to it. There was that one scene where Wanda is looking, I guess, at a vision of herself, and as the true Scarlet Witch, and you can only see her image in Wanda's eyes, but you can see that she's wearing her proper comic book costume, or at least the headpiece, which I think looks perfect and can work. Okay, just because the comic book looks strange for someone who doesn't know about comics, once you see what Marvel's been able to do with their costumes, you realize that it might look weird on the paper, but translated into real world, they'll make it look good. And the new Vision, obviously, which is again follows exactly like with the comic books. So Vision's look is obviously different now, but this is going to be really cool. And there is For All Mankind, which airs on Fridays on the Disney. No, it's on the Apple TV channel. That's the one I've been watching. It's now in its second season. Episode 2 will air this Friday. And this is that alternate history where the Russians landed on the moon first and then it accelerated into a Cold War on the moon and stuff. So, really cool series. A lot of old technology that was planned that was canceled is utilized in that show. So it's really cool, like a cool shout out to history on what could have been. But there are I do have nitpicks on it, being a nerd. And one thing is that they actually took the shuttle to the moon, like to orbit the moon. Yeah, you don't do that. There's no point in taking all that mass to the moon when a lot of it is the flight surface that is used to land on Earth. There's no atmosphere on the moon. There's no point in bringing a shuttle to the planet. And there was these things in for the late 60s, early 70s plan called a nuclear tug. And what this would do is load things, including passengers, onto a rocket, but it had a nuclear engine. And that would fly to the moon and then deliver shit there and then go back and forth. But having a fucking shuttle, a space shuttle, which is supposed to fly in the air, go through space to the moon is stupid. Back to the chat here. Z the Reaper says, after that last episode of WandaVision, they're gonna pick up everything in Doctor Strange too. Well, see, the thing is, it's still not the final episode. But it's obvious that Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Infinite Madness, I believe is the title, she's featured in that movie. She's on the posters. So that it's clearly going to be leading into that. And whatever happens in this show is going to be of main relevance in this new movie that's coming out. I don't know when that movie is coming out, but I'm looking forward to it. In fact, the first one I did not expect to be that good. I was aware of the character and stuff. He wasn't one of my favorites, but I was always aware of the character when I was reading the comic books and stuff. And still, very powerful character and all that, and had a good role. But just the way that they put him together in the first movie just was really well done. And it's a lot of these actors really portray the part like as if they leapt out from the page of the comic, and I think Benedict Cumberbatch definitely does that. So the new movie that's coming out should be really good, and especially because it's going to allow for the introduction of the multiverse, and then obviously this is how Spider-Man's going to get in there, how the Fantastic Four and the X-Men and other groups. So it's just very cool that they're able to use that to bring things together. And I still like the fact that they brought in the Fox character for Quicksilver in WandaVision. Because although that wasn't really her brother, it was Agatha Harkness who created him, it's still sort of a nod to the outside sort of multiverses that exist. And yeah, that's just cool. Man, it's so cold. I gotta go out to the butcher, but that's gonna have to wait. At least tomorrow it's going to be warmer. Alright, well, since nobody's calling in and not much is happening here, just going to wrap it up. Thanks for everyone who did show up, at least in hopes of seeing some space action. And next time we do have Kerbals running on episode 7, the computer will have gone through its necessary upgrades and its cleaning, and we should be good to go. But I might see you on some other stream prior to that. You never know when drama needs to be addressed, or another Smug Canadians episode comes up. But yeah, I'll be around. So everyone, I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you all later.